Welcome to our new episode of Working with Agents. In this episode, we do something that is very complicated and strategic. We redesign and align our offer, our entire product offer around AI. We started manually with a very high level definition of what we want to do. Previously, we were doing skills and we had a list of training and we were doing technology deployments. And some customers were asking us about use cases, but it was not so clearly defined. This one we did manually. We created these three pillars, but we call them level 1, level 2, level 3. So here, that is already something that we worked out with AI. Instead of the very blunt level 1, level 2, level 3, by asking AI to give us better names, we came out with the AI maturity level of a company that is core, process, and ecosystem. That is consistent with everything we had behind. Then we started to fill in what are the actual products that we put behind these names, these levels, and these categories of services. And we did it in a way that just makes sense for us. It's a very simple Excel file where we put things, abbreviations, just keywords, things that make sense to us, some price and some elements that made sense or didn't make sense. And then we fed that, just copy and paste directly into AI. It didn't look like this. It had a lot of missing pieces. And the first thing was to align these three levels, so core, processing, ecosystem. And the second one was to use actually a simple prompt. You are an expert B2B service offering, analyze our offer, check that all upsell makes sense between range and between offers. And then we just copy and paste the offer. There is a lot of context that is there inside the offer, and using a reasoning model, we use DeepSeek R1, the reasoning model was able to analyze it and give us some very good feedback. Value coherence, upsell logic, cross-track alignment, and clarity. Does it make sense to users? Some of the comments that the AI put there was really the way a customer will understand the offer. Here, between these two offers, the price gap is bigger than the value gap. There is a problem. If you show this to somebody, there's a problem. When you're working on an offer, when you're working on a proposal, where you're working on a product catalog, you don't look at it the way a customer will look at it. But the AI has this ability to really look at it in an unbiased way and tell you that is enough in terms of value, the value perception is good, or the value perception is not. He gave us a little bit of positive feedback on the logic progression on the premium tracks, but it's only true. And then we had a lot of weaknesses. The takeaway is that using AI to review commercial proposal, offers, even marketing material or any documentation that you can put up will give you a more honest, unbiased diagnostic. As long as you use the ERC framework, you set up the right role, you set up the objective, you will get something that is unbiased. And then we went through several iterations. Every iteration, we add some elements, we clarify some of the words, the key terms that were maybe too technical, that speak to us but would not speak to the customer. We reviewed some of the prices because the gap was too much on one side or too much on the other side. And finally, when we had something that looked all right to us, we decided to do a final check. So we put the whole offer again and asked for one last analysis. And the AI came out with something extremely detailed. It really went horizontally from one to the next offer. Do they make sense? Do they align? So a company, will it make a company really whole into their AI implementation if they buy all our core services? If they buy skills, training, if they buy use cases, workshops, and if they buy the technology, is it consistent? Do they have a similar set of values? And then when the company wants to upgrade to the next level, this is more the vertical analysis of the track. Does it make sense? Every upsell towards the next layer, does it make sense? Is there enough value compared to the price points that we put on these offers? Everything went fine. We had a very detailed analysis. We controlled everything. The AI controlled everything and told us that everything was fine. And then there are still gaps and considerations. There will always be gaps and considerations. If you ask it in a prompt, the AI will look for things to improve. Now, is it good enough for us to put it on the market? Or is one of these gaps too wide and we really need to fix it before we put it on the market? That's up to you to decide. The user, the business user, will make a decision based on this very detailed analysis. And then conclusion is actually very positive. In that case, after 3 iterations, we were able to go from very complex, only we can understand offer into something we can confidently put onto the market. If you want more use cases on very high level strategic tasks, subscribe to this channel and we will continue to show you how to use agent or reasoning model for these strategic tasks.